Okay, so I'm currently traveling from Spain to Portugal, backpacking with a being by the name of ELKAMINO LRS Mikael. For those of you who have been on this station, this channel previously, you would have heard me refer to him as the conquering hand. If I were to speak the absolute real of this being, nobody would acknowledge it as reality, or very few would acknowledge it as reality, simply because of how we have been falsely trained in society, all societies across the earth, for the past 7,000 years plus, well 3,000 years plus, let's say, and that there are none of us who are now knowing of the real, the really real of existence, of life on earth, of who and what we are as soul, spirit, mind, soul, developing in body, mind. None of us really know the answers to these questions, other than this being who I am currently traveling with, and I'm thankful to be traveling with him. As previously mentioned, we are currently traveling from Spain through to Portugal via the coast. We're backpacking, sleeping out on the beaches, sometimes in our tents, sometimes we just lay our mandalas out on the sand and kick back under the stars and enjoy the night. On several occasions now, we have had the police unlawfully approach us in the middle of the night while we're in a beautiful rest. You could say aggressively, violently in their intent, but aggressively in their actions, wake us out of our rest and tell us we have to move from places where there are no rules or laws of the land that state that a human being, a living human being of the land, cannot be on the land, out in their tent, in the way that we are, in the night, on the beach, in nature, as was intended anyway. For example, there are no rules or laws by the almighty ordainer and creator of this earth, of this universe, that a human being cannot put a tent up on the beach for the night to rest and enjoy the stars and the sounds of the ocean and the sunrise in the morning while they're traveling across the earth. In fact, this is what we as human beings used to do as a standard natural procedure of movement when we were in our natural state. You know, I bring to our attention now, there are things called inmobiliarias in the Spanish lands, or upon the Spanish lands, should I say, what are now called Spanish lands. Inmobiliaria, if we translate that, it means unable to move. And the inmobiliarias, what they do is give us, or not provide, but they are the outlets for homes for people to rent. And what does it mean when you have a home to rent or a mortgage to pay? Generally, we stay in these spaces and we don't move away or go anywhere else from those places while we pay to live there and stay there stuck in one space for our lives, or we pay rent to live for that space. This is not the natural way for human beings to exist upon the earth. Most of us know this innately in our heart and soul, but we go with this because of the way society is formed to keep us trapped and locked down. We have decided not to live in this way, and as we are moving in this way, we are having issues. We have had several issues with the police of the land. Again, for nothing we've done wrong, for no crime we've committed, for no law we've broken, ordinances have been made to state that, oh, it's not okay for you to sleep on the beach anymore. But an ordinance is not a law. An ordinance does not say that a police worker can remove you from a place you are if you are there based on your own volition or decision or choice to be there. To minimize issues, we've moved, but again, there's no raw law or rule to state that we cannot be there in the ways that we've been. Now, as we go along this journey, I'm going to document our experiences by my vocal speaking into the microphone, and I'm going to marry it with visuals of our travels, of ourselves, and of the environment and the things that occur. Sometimes I may go live if we have issues with the police again. I will go live and put these images online for all to see. A lot of these things, or many of these things, may not mean much to those who see the recordings now, but when all of our freedoms are being encroached upon, imposed upon, and removed by the false control structures that rule currently this world, this false world upon the earth, because humans have moved so far away from who we naturally are by nature, by the universe, and of the divine creator of the earth, nature, and the universe. When we start to see these natural freedoms that we were imbued and endowed with upon the inception of existence being removed more and more and more, the things that I speak or are spoken and documented on this journey, and that have been shared by ELKAMINO himself, will become of much more of a relevance to us as humanity. And as they do, thankfully, we'll be able to grow and return to who we were naturally created to be and what we were naturally created to be. And so I move through the challenges of this journey to speak to you as real as I possibly can, as I'm restoring myself from a lot of damage that's been done to I, that I've put myself in these positions to be done to I, so that all of us once again can live on earth as we were designed to be. Speaking of ELKAMINO, El Reyes Mikael, lastly, before I close out this recording, he is a being who has devoted his whole life, which is almost 49 years and counting now, to the freedom of humans from the tyranny that mankind have brought upon the earth, upon nature, and the death and destruction that they've brought upon all living things upon the earth. He's devoted his entire life to providing the solutions, all of the solutions that are required for us to return to our restored state by the Creator, by the Universe, by nature, by the earth, and by our most divine selves. As a result of this, he has been tortured on multiple occasions by the power structures that exist upon this earth currently. And he has overcome, and he is currently in the process again of restoring himself from all of what has been done to him to try and stop him from doing the things that are necessary to free and heal not only all of humanity, but all of the natural life upon the earth. I happen to be with him upon this excursion, this journey, this backpacking meander, as we stroll and roll from, again, Spain to Portugal, enjoying the Kosta Del Sol and the natural earth as best as we can. And he has books that he has written now to instruct, inform, educate, and guide us all upon what we need to do to first restore ourselves and our ability to see and perceive the reality of the world upon the earth we live in, and to heal ourselves from all of the afflictions that have been imposed and brought to us, that we may not see ourselves as sick or ill or unwell currently, but as we begin to restore ourselves from all that has been done to bring us away again from the natural way of living that the Almighty, the Divine, has ordained us to be in, the Creator has ordained for us to be in, to put us in these states of being unable to move, unmobile upon the earth. Immobiliaria, as they call these places where we rent spaces in upon the Spanish lands. We'll begin to see the realities of the things he speaks, and also begin to see the reality which he shares of how mankind have orchestrated over the past, at a minimum 7,000 years, to bring us to the position we are currently as humanity in. So if you'd like to see these writings, I've put the links to the books in the description of these videos, and you'll be able to see as we go through this journey. Alright? Okay. Beautiful day, night, evening, rising, afternoon to you, wherever you may be upon the earth now. Share these transmissions, share these recordings, and let us again liberate and free ourselves from the tyranny that has us in the states that everybody is asking them or saying there must be something more than this. There must be more to life than what we are experiencing now. There is so much more to life than what we as humanity have been locked into now. And it's time for us to bring ourselves to the seeing of who we are as ourselves, and what is more for us to live as and with again. Alright?